He preaches to 45,000 people every single Sunday inside what used to be an NBA arena. His sermons reach 100 countries. His books have sold over 30 million copies worldwide. His social media following is larger than the population of most nations. And in 2026, the fortune that Joel Osteen has accumulated, while asking his congregation to trust that God rewards the faithful with material wealth, has grown so enormous, so breathtaking, and so deeply controversial that even the people closest to him cannot talk about it without crying. Some from gratitude, some from shame, and some from a grief they have never been able to fully put into words. The number that nobody can agree on but nobody can ignore is somewhere between $100 and $110 million. $110 million. Accumulated not from a church salary, Joel Osteen famously stopped drawing one in 2005, but from book deals, royalties, speaking fees, and media production that turned his brand of positive thinking Christianity into one of the most profitable religious enterprises in the history of American faith. His debut book Your Best Life now sold over 8 million copies. It sat at the top of the New York Times bestseller list for months. The books that followed, Become a Better You, I Declare, The Power of I Am, were published in dozens of languages and continue generating millions in royalties every single year. The man does not take a salary from Lakewood Church. He does not need one. The books alone make him extraordinarily wealthy. And then there is the house. The 10,000 square foot mansion in River Oaks, one of the most exclusive and expensive zip codes in the entire state of Texas, that Joel and Victoria Osteen purchased in 2010 for just under $11 million. 6 bedrooms. 6 bathrooms. A swimming pool. A guest house. Security cameras covering every corner of a property so enormous that the neighbors, themselves wealthy by any normal measure, describe it simply as a compound. Joel appeared on Logan Paul's podcast just weeks ago and pushed back against long-standing public perceptions, insisting he owns no jets, no yachts, no fleet of exotic cars. People like to make up stuff, he said. I have no yachts. I have never owned a jet. His listeners heard him. Not all of them believed him. Because the controversy surrounding Joel Osteen's wealth is not simply about the numbers. It is about the theology underneath the numbers. The prosperity gospel, the belief that faithful Christians are materially rewarded by God for their obedience and generosity, has made Osteen the most recognizable and the most criticized face of a movement that critics describe as a transaction disguised as a religion. Give generously. Believe faithfully. And God will give back to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The people sitting in those 45,000 seats, many of them struggling, many of them giving a portion of income they cannot afford to give, are told that their generosity will return to them multiplied. Meanwhile, the man delivering that message lives in an $11 million mansion in River Oaks and has a net worth of over $100 million. And then came Hurricane Harvey. In August 2017, floodwaters consumed Houston, destroying hundreds of thousands of homes, displacing tens of thousands of families, killing dozens of people. Lakewood Church, a 16,000-seat arena sitting on some of the highest and driest ground in the city, initially declined to open its doors as a shelter. Officials said the building was not accessible. Social media exploded in fury. The images of a locked megachurch surrounded by flooded streets became one of the defining images of a catastrophe. Osteen eventually opened the doors. He said the building had been assessed and was ready. The damage to his reputation was already done. And within his own family, among people who had devoted their lives to the ministry his father John Osteen had built from a feed store in 1959, the silence that followed was reportedly deafening. John Osteen built Lakewood Church on faith, sacrifice, and a genuine belief in serving the poor. He died in 1999, before the NBA arena, before the bestseller lists, before the $100 million fortune. Whether he would have recognized what the ministry became is a question that members of the extended Osteen family have reportedly asked themselves in private for years. That is what makes the family cry. Not the fortune itself, but the distance between the man who built it and the man who inherited it.